This I'm sure people are quite well aware. Once you get the call letter, it has got a series of instructions, and those must be complied with. Carrying your dresses, etc., etc. Reach on the correct day at the correct time. And most places you report on day one. I think Calcutta, the SSB probably far, so you report on D-1. And in any case, that is part of the joining instruction. And generally on D1, which is the screening day, you have the OIR and PPDT. That we will cover in the next slide. And day two, cadets who are screened in, let's say about 25-30% of the whole lot that came. Then you start with the psychology part, and that
Sure.
should be over by the afternoon. That includes your TAT, WAT, SRT, and self description. And some of these kids might be sent for interview thereafter.
Sure.
And day three is the GTO day. It is the first day of the GTO. And generally, you should be able to finish your group discussion, group planning, PGT, and obstacle race, which is the snake race. And maybe some of them could also be put through the half group task. Otherwise, it will be done on the next day. Thereafter, then the leftover students will go for the interview. And the second GTO day is in the fourth day, and you do your individual obstacle race and command task and the final group task. And in case someone is left over, you have your interview. Day five is the conference, and cadets who are selected will be retained. It should take around 3 to 4 days. By day 10, your medical should be done. Now, in this basic screening, which is on day one, there are two issues. One is the OIR, which is called the Officer's Intelligence Rating, and the second is PPDT. This was introduced in 98, and if I'm not wrong, the first batch was introduced when I was a trainee GTO there in Allahabad. The aim was to whittle down on the number of students who were coming to the SSBs and wean out students who had the potential so that they could be looked at in greater detail. And in this, the OIR part, which gives your officers intelligence rating, is basically, you can say, an IQ test. And intelligence is not to be taken as the normal understanding is you have your IQ test, and it is taken to be academic or mathematical intelligence. But there are about 8 or 9 types of intelligence: kinesthetic intelligence, which shows in your physical games and sports, musical intelligence, linguistic intelligence, words, prose, etc., mathematical intelligence, which is
Sure.
traditionally what we think of, interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence, which show up as your in your social domain. How adaptable you are, picking up social cues, cooperative, helpful, all those issues. Existential intelligence, logical intelligence, spatial intelligence is what is looked at. You have this pilot's aptitude test. How aware is this young boy or girl about where he is in space? There are various ways. Other people have looked at intelligence as abstract intelligence, mechanical intelligence, and social intelligence. And later, when we talk of personality, this complete personality test is based on Catel's 16 personality factor test. So he had said there are about 70, 80 types of intelligence, or you can say separate striations of this. This OIR test is basically picking up the mathematical and logical part of that intelligence. And any student who can buy a good book of OIR from the market and do it from cover to cover, he will do well. Why I have explained these types of intelligence is when I had gone, we just went there and we gave that and came back. It is now at the age of 60 years, I realize that you may be good in one part of your intelligence. It does not necessarily mean that I also have special intelligence and therefore I'm fit to be a pilot. So to practice this OIR is a good thing to sharpen your intelligence. And the students who do well to practice this OIR, one or two books, to get to know the way that it is being tackled in terms of as we go ahead, we will cover what kinds of things are done. So this should be practiced. The second is the PPDT. TAT, you can take it and a group discussion on that. Any child who is an average student has some spark will be picked up by the three assessors who are looking at him. The method of PPDT, we will not take much time. There are hundreds of videos on YouTube on this. Once the picture is flashed like TAT, you have to write a story on it. You'll be given time 4 to 5 minutes. Then every student by turn will get some time, 40, 50 seconds, 1 minute to speak on his story, and the complete group listens. So this you can realize the aspects that are seen in lecture, your language, conviction, the psychologist is seeing the basic motives, drives, what have you written, what was the stimulus given, what is the response you are given. So all that is seen. And all the 15 to 20 students part of the group will repeat this process. Thereafter, for 20 minutes, there'll be discussion on this. After that discussion, this group has to come to a conclusion to one story, and they will nominate one of themselves and say, okay, now you go ahead and give the story. And he will narrate that. So this is about OIR and PPDT. Now in the next slide, we will see why I was so focused on the OIR. Because in your complete personality, the bulk of your personality is your intelligence. The comprehension, logic, reasoning, problem solving, speed of decision, quick decision making, all those things. We will sometime cover later what Cattell had said about three forms of intelligence. Suffice to say that whether you can solve problems which are new, about which you have no knowledge, or you solve problems which you have knowledge previously of. So we came in that first part who went to SSB without knowing anything about it. So these days, the co-students come in the second one. And the third part of intelligence, as per this, you can say demarcation by Cattell, was the speed of processing. How quickly. So that speed of processing will be speeded up when the students do the practice of their OIR. Now, why is OIR important? Here on this table, we have seen if you get OIR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can roughly take it. The exact figures are not known and not required to be told also. Let's say anything about 90 is OIR 1, 85 to 90 is 2, 80, 85 is 3, whatever. 4, 5 like that. If you are OIR 1, the three assessors A1, A2 and A3. If one says I'm doubtful, two say no, this child will still be recommended because the SSB wants to see this chap is so intelligent. Why is it that we must not take him? And they will see him repeatedly before they don't take him. Have you understood? And OIR 2 child, if two assessors say doubtful, one says no, he'll still be taken. OIR 3, if all three say I am doubtful, he will still be taken. So what I'm saying is that the OIR rating is bent towards the student. Even doubtful assessment by the assessor during screening will be overruled if you have a good OIR score. But if you are OIR 4 and two assessors say doubtful, one says yes, maybe you're likely to be recommended. One says no, doubtful, yes, no. But if you are recommended by all three and your OIR is 5, then there's a problem. Okay? So doing well in OIR is very important. And once you start practicing OIR, the development of intelligence is not, you can say, in silos. If your logical reasoning and problem solving skills increase, your linguistic skills will also increase. The delivery, grammar, everything will increase. So the students must work on this OIR part, and they can start in class 5, 6, 7, 8. There's nothing. Old days, people used to do those puzzles at the end of the
newspapers,
word puzzle, other puzzle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the same thing is this. The newspapers were performing that function of helping the students become slightly more logical. So that is what. In this, you pick up any of these books, you have verbal and non-verbal reasoning. The students can take a snapshot if they want. Otherwise, it is not required. It is there. Arithmetical reasoning, spelling, missing words, related words, jumble sentences, word pair, antonym, synonym. Then directions, speed and distance, all these things, blood relations, Venn diagrams, coding is also there. Series both in numerals and in alphabets, and also in words. So all those kinds of things. In non-verbal also you will have series and analogy, cubes and dices, mirror images. So these are the things. All this is meant to see whether the student can pick up not only the verbal or explicit cues, but also cues which are not there. I'm sure most of the students know that verbal communication is only about 30-40% of communication. The rest 60-70% is non-verbal, which the body and mind picks up without conscious effort. So that is being looked at, and that is of use in your later service life, where let's say you are a young company commander sitting on the LC in Noshera, and if you are not sensitive to the environment, you're not alive, you cannot pick up the cues of what is happening on the other side of the LC, especially when the enemy is trying to hide his activity. So that is the reason all these things are required. Now the PPDT process we have already explained. I'll not waste time on this. The how and why part I will tell you. The students can take a snapshot of this. You see, in the PPDT, like in the TAT later on, this whole thing, thematic apperception, is based on Murray's thematic apperception test, where the student, the candidate is unconsciously projecting his thoughts onto the stimulus, rather you can say hazy stimulus which has been shown to him. So now it is not about the stimulus or the image, it is about you. And the directions are that you should use your imagination and write a story to TAT. Say what led to this situation, which is there in that stimulus, that picture. What is happening right now and what is going to be the outcome? Now, there is nothing happening right now. Whatever is happening, it is happening in your mind. You see a situation, let's say there's and all these images are common images. They are all available on the internet and they have been there for the last 40, 50 years. Nothing has changed. Why? Because it is not that image. It is the student who is telling you something about that image. And every time that student is different. If I tell you something about an image, TAT, that is of no use to you, me, assessor, man, or a donkey. Because that story has to gel with the rest of the 11 stories I've written there, with the 60 WAT I've given, with the 30 SRTs which have been given, with what I said in the interview. You see, the whole SSB process started with what? With an OIR. Then they looked at your PPDT and your OIR was high. Still, people said no, 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 all the assessors, and still you got selected because they want to keep looking at you. Why must we reject this fellow? Why should we not keep him? Yes. So it is about you, and the children should visualize this. So we must, if you look at the bottom part of the slide, the PPDT, we must look at it as a story, as told to you, written by your imagination, but based on what? Based on that stimulus and not about other things. So you can look at it as 2, 3 lines on background, 5 to 6 lines on what is happening in the present and result. Or like students are used to write introduction, explanation, conclusion. Or you can say past, present, and future. So that is the way to look at TAT and PPDT. We will talk of this in detail when we start that series or when we have started this pilot batch, then we will talk about it. Now, the students must have also heard of this CSSS and OPAM. The screening process on day one, 98, when it started till today, to me, there was a lacuna in this. One, it was time consuming. Second, the psychologist is looking at people through his own lens with his own technique. What has he said in the TAT? There are 12 odd pictures. One of them is a blank picture. SRTs, and then he makes up his mind. And now he has to sit here in the open and see this child. The GTO sees the child over 2 days. He puts him through 9 to 10 different tasks, but he has to make up his mind with just this 1 minute of talk that the student gives and group discussion. The interviewing officer does not get to ask a single question. This was a truncated system that put together these activities of all three assessors in on one platform. But it was too short and too quick where you could miss out on people. So as automation has increased, and rightfully so, the OIR automation is what is the stage one in your CSSS, which is your cognitive battery mental aptitude. 70 odd questions of this will give you the same thing about your mental abilities, spatial intelligence, memory, attention, patterns, all that. So that gives you an OIR kind of activity. And the objective personality assessment measure is 120 odd questions. Now, this I think has become slightly more difficult than what we used to have because now the student will be given, we were given only visual cues in our psych. Sure. Now, this is in a way like your Cattle's PF16, a personality test, which gives, we have 15 odd OLQs, they have 16 factors generally related. Some of them have been extracted from there, some from other places. So that is a self-reporting inventory where you keep giving answers, you get a score for different domains at the end. In this case now, the tests which are given in OPAM, this is also a self-reporting inventory kind of thing. But you are sitting on a computer and you are sitting with earphones like this, and you will get images, you will get situations, and you may also get sounds. So you have to now give your response to that. And like in the group planning exercise, certain map based activity. And once you give an answer to this question, it gets logged in and you go to the next one. And there is no revisit. I clearly remember in my SSB when we were writing those word association, an odd one which was blank, and we were writing. I remember at least 4 or 5 times I had gone back and written that word and then proceeded. You had that time and you could go back and write. Not here. Here, once the computer locks it in, it is gone. And instead of only a verbal cue, it is both visual cue. It is now both visual and auditory. So this is a deeper test of your memory, attention, and different areas of your mental faculties. Now, what is the challenge for students? The time stress has increased in this. There is no going back. And then they have to have certain amount of computer literacy. So just as I said, they must work on the OIR so that their basic intelligence gets flowing into the channels of different intelligences required in OIR, spatial, mirror image, sentence series, this, that. Similarly, here, the students must start practicing on computers and make themselves well versant with the various keys in a computer and how to work on it.